Do you think that your knowledge from being on the inside, do you think that Weymouth is ready for development in Southfield to go forward?
Yes, well, it already is going forward, first of all.
But I mean, are you ready for the impact for the residential, the commercial, the transportation, the schools,
well,
public safety?
the two big issues that I see are going to be the traffic impacts, which was always a big issue, and the schools. And the traffic, we just went through the environmental review process, and basically what came out of the environmental review process is the state in its decision said it's not, Tri-Town and L&R can't make that decision alone. The town of Weymouth has a say in saying whether the mitigation they put forward is sufficient. So whoever the next mayor is going to have to sign off that traffic mitigation is adequate. And there's going to be a protocol put in place to monitor traffic. We have to pick a time, whether it's 1/3 development or half the development's done, see whether the traffic that's actually occurring is consistent with what was underwritten in the environmental review process.
When you say traffic mitigation, it's not so much that you have to reopen your agreement with L&R as much as mitigation from whatever party that there is to make whole.
Well, L&R is well, I mean, there's going to be a parkway through the base connecting Route 18 to over to exit 14 on Route 3. That needs to be built before Phase 2 can get underway. When we talk about mitigation, there's certain streets in Weymouth that we expect, based on the modeling that the state has done, will be adversely impacted. And L&R needs to do something, and Tri-Town need to do something to fix that problem. Now, I know before any future development can go forward, I just, 3 Sundays ago, met with the Forest Street Civic Association, and L&R and Town of Weymouth jointly presented traffic calming measures for Forest Street. And that's the second meeting I've attended with Forest Street on traffic. And the response from the residents on Forest Street was very positive. I've been to some of these other, when I was a counselor, and they can sometimes go in different directions. This one, I thought very well. They're talking about putting stoplights at both ends potentially, putting speed humps, narrowing the street, and putting a stop sign in. And the impact of doing those measures is to, that is a cut-through street. A lot of people get off Route 18, go up Pond Street, up Forest Street. That is designed to make it less desirable to go down that, use that as a cut-through. And you know, the other thing about, you know, trying to change people's commuting patterns is, you know, Route 18 is being widened, and at some point we hope that having a widened Route 18 will take some of the cut-through traffic and put them back on the main road where it belongs. But you know, we're going to have to monitor traffic and see how it develops. And you know, L&R, there are other things that L&R can pursue to try and keep traffic on the base, to try and get people to use public transportation. There's things they have to pursue that they can do to...
That's a key component, though, you know, of the original agreement, right? With
right.
L&R is to get the train station in there, to get a bus station in there, work with the T.
Yes, and...
I mean, this is all supposed to be under smart growth.
Right. And there is money available, I think it's $7 million, but don't hold me to that, from federal funds that Senator Kennedy got that is going to be used for the reconfiguration of the train station. I know they're talking about having shuttle buses running through the businesses and the residences at the base to try and get them to the train station, to encourage commuters to do that. There are a lot of things, I don't know what specifically they'll settle on, but there are a lot of things they've kind of thrown out there as possibilities, but to a certain extent it depends on who shows up as the businesses on the base. And they're talking about having a movie studio there, and if the movie studio is one of our larger clients on the base, then when they're filming there'll be traffic, but when they're not filming, when they're not doing any production, there won't be any traffic there. So and if they do elderly housing first, how that'll affect when you need a school, because you won't need a school if most of the housing in the first phase is elderly. So there are a lot of things that kind of nuances that kind of go into it that kind of depends on how it unfolds.
A lot of what I hear you saying is L&R is talking about this, or there is talk about that. What are you going to do proactively as mayor to make sure that...
Well, as mayor, I mean, I'm going to insist that we do the traffic monitoring, and I've taken over the years a lot of difficult stands, and if required, we'll say the next phase of development won't be built until you've adequately mitigated the traffic. Now, they're hopeful that the measures they have will be adequate. I think we need to wait and see what transpires before we make decisions. I don't think you can make forecasts really accurately what's going to happen. It's so big, and we had during the CAC, the environmental review process, we had Mass Highway down there, and the person from Mass Highway made a statement that was kind of controversial. He said, we always underestimate the amount of how quickly the traffic fills in on the road. And everyone thought, well, you're always underestimating the traffic. What he was saying is we always underestimate how quickly people go from other roads and fill in on a new lane on a highway. So we have to see what happens. But it's a little disappointing that we're not doing all of the construction. We're just doing the intersections right now. But my understanding is the remaining work is programmed for 2011.
Who is fire chief under Mayor McPherson?
Well, that's a good question. My understanding is Mayor Madden will go back and serve as fire chief. If he leaves, then it goes back into the civil service. My understanding is that it goes back and they just go through the process of hiring a new chief, just like he was leaving again. So Larry and any others that meet the requirements and take the test will go through the process. And
Mayor Madden has already told Chief Leary that he'll be his position ends on January 2nd, which
right.
is when Mayor Madden leaves office.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is that the council, when they approved Chief Leary, approved him as a permanent chief at Mayor Madden's request.
That's not my understanding.
No. So then your understanding...
I mean, when Mayor Madden ran in 1999, this was an issue, that he was on a leave of absence, so I don't think anyone should be surprised that,
So you believe
he stated that was an issue in the 99 campaign, so...
Do you believe that Chief Leary is acting chief or interim chief?
Yes.
And that's been your belief all along?
Yes. That's been my understanding, yes.
So then you don't have a problem with this of Chief Leary?
Well, it is what it is. I mean, he's going to do what he's legally entitled to do. I'm not sure that there's anything I can do about that.